morning, you're hanging out with Jade here, 91.1 Hot FM, Hot Property. We're talking all things real estate and property in here this morning. Mel Cayley from Direct Collective is joining me along with Paul from Broker Co. Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Good morning, Jade.
We were just having a chat off air, actually, and you were saying, Paul, you've been extremely busy lately, which no surprise. We've been talking about the market kicking along really well. But you did mention self-managed super funds, and I want to talk about it. How do you buy with your super? I think a lot of people know that you kind of can. Seems tricky though. Can we unpack that this morning, guys?
Yeah, we can. I mean, from our point of view in the investor property business, we spend a lot of time with clients who have identified the opportunity in super, the chance to leverage, and it really supercharges their super fund compared to what they were doing in the past in the cases that we've seen. I mean, obviously, you need a good financial planner, you need a good tax accountant and a good broker, but it can be transformative for someone's super fund.
Let's talk about it, Paul. How does it work? What's the technicalities around it? I was always sort of led to believe that it's complicated and difficult.
No, it's not complicated at all, Jade. Basically, you need some
Money
sitting there. That's going to help a lot. So you generally need at least 20% of the deposit amount. So if you're buying $500,000 property, $100,000 as a deposit, plus all of your costs, and you need a little bit of a buffer in there as well.
Okay, well, that was my first question. How much super do you need to even start to entertain this idea? So, if you haven't got really anything, if you've got under $100,000, maybe the timing's not right for you. But if you're sitting above that 100 to, upwards of that,
upwards
really?
Of about, I would say 200 is a really safe bet. And if you've been working for a while, you're partnered up, you can easily transfer your existing super funds into a self-managed super fund. Just need to speak to your accountant to set that up for you.
And you can do that. I'm imagining a lot of couples out there, both have individually got their own super clicking along in the background and have for a long time. So good way to tie those together. Like you can obviously tie them together, right?
Absolutely.
So, and that's how you might get across that threshold to have enough cash in there to look at buying something.
Yeah, and what we've seen from the investor property side is that a lot of couples, combine their super into a fund. And again, we can chat to the guys from FTA when they're back on the show later about how that looks. But we've even seen cases where we've had whole families, so up to 4 people come in. So mum and dad, 2 of the kids, all pool their funds, and they've got different times and horizons, so I wouldn't want to be the planner working with them on how all that works, but it's amazing then what they can do and the capacity that generates for them. So yeah, it's pretty exciting actually what you can achieve through a self-managed super fund.
So Paul, from a mortgage broker's point of view, or for someone out there that's thinking, yep, we've got the money, let's get a self-managed super fund and get our accountant to set that up, but then come to you, Paul, and go, okay, we want to buy this property. How complicated is it? Is it like applying for normal property? Like, do they look at your personal income and everything like that? Or do they just look at how much money you have in that super fund?
Look, I wouldn't say it's complex, even though there is complexities to it. So there is a lot of legal complexities. In a simplistic version, the banks will assess the servicing, how much you can borrow based on the rental yield of that property bought in the fund. Any shortfall, you need to be able to cover that with additional contributions from your person.
Okay, that's good to know. That makes sense though. It's fairly straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you still need the capacity to cover the rent, shortfall if there's an issue.
Yeah, basically the way we watch it happen for our clients is, instead of you as an individual running the property, you might be the director of the fund, for example, you still make all the decisions, but you borrow the money, the tenant pays their rent, your super funds is earning an income because of your contributions, so all that goes back into the fund, and so it just works like a separate person to you, but on all the same basis. The difference is that bare trust, which and the reason that is there is for what they call limited recourse lending, so that if something happens to that property, that it doesn't affect the rest of your super.
Certainly sounds like worth a conversation if you want to get into the property market through your super fund. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thanks, Jade.
Thanks, Jay.